This is gonna be cool.
The topics and opinions expressed on the Dudes and Beer podcast are intended for an audience of 18 and up and are solely those of the host and guests. They neither reflect the opinions or values of either the sponsors of Dudes and Beer or your mother. I mean, seriously. Have you ever heard these guys? They'll talk about anything.
Whoa, hey, you think they're gonna show it? They'll probably just blur it out. Whoa, check it out, Beavis.
Grab your beverages and turn up your interweb. Solving the world's problems 12 ounces at a time. It's Dudes and Beer.
I'll give you everything and more, and that's for sure. I'll bring you diamond rings and things right to your door. To thrill you with delight, I'll give you diamonds bright.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another awesome-ass episode of the Dudes and Beer podcast. I am Chris Jordan, your host. With me tonight are Michael Davis, Joshua Davis, and their father, Stephen Davis, here in fantastic Mercer, Pennsylvania. We are on the road this week, out doing all kinds of traveling for work, things like that. So sitting around with some friends, having a few brews, just talking, catching up. And tonight, we're actually going to talk a little bit about private property in America, the concept of private property, concept of private ownership, whether it be data, physical things, whatever, and what is happening in the world with A, privacy, and B, property, and what it is to actually own something in this world nowadays, believe it or not, how hard it is. So when we come back from this message from our sponsor, we will conquer that obstacle as well as many others, right after this message.
Hey, are you a musician? Do you play guitar, bass, or synthesizers? Are you a studio engineer looking for that different sound? Well, fret no longer. Austin Hot Mods is there for you. From Boss to Ibanez, DoD to EHX and more, Austin Hot Mods provides over 50 different modifications and customizations to some of the most popular guitar pedals on the market, from vintage to modern. So if you're looking for that boutique custom sound on a Craigslist budget, look no further. Contact Austin Hot Mods today and mention that you heard it here on the Dudes and Beer podcast for 5% off your first guitar pedal modification. Visit them online at austinhotmods.com. Texas owned and operated and home of the Mod of the Month deal. That website again is austinhotmods.com.
And we are back. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on. I can't express, number one, what it is as a host and a friend. Like, I mean, for those of you that don't know, Michael Davis is one of my hairy Christian brothers. He is one of the H's and C's in HC Productions, one of the people that I have known for, I consider, my entire life, at least my entire formative life from 18 and up until now when I'm 40, going on 41. I have known Michael Davis, and he has been an instructive force in my life, would be one of the ways to put it. And even from the day I met his father, Steve, just wow.
Just pops.
Yeah. It's what I've always called. I know.
I've never been Steve.
Yeah, I know. It's always been Pops. So we'll refer to you, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, whenever you hear us refer to Pops, that is Steve over here. That is the father of the Davis clan. And of course, right across the table from me is my other little brother, Joshua, the one that's probably more like me than anybody else around here. The little brother, and always looking for things, always looking for something to get into.
Absolutely.
And so
I'm glad to be here.
And Joshua actually just moved here. Michael has lived here in Mercer, Pennsylvania for years now.
Yeah, it was. It's been 12 years now.
Yeah, it's been a good piece.
Yeah, it has been, and finally we had Providence come through.
Yeah.
Providence came through, and Joshua and Bonnie moved with the kids. Would have been last summer.
Yeah,
a year and a half ago.
About a year. You're right.
Yep.
About a year and a half.
Yep.
So
After,
it's just been glorious.
Yeah,
glorious.
25 years in Colorado, and quite a stint out there. And I just had to get closer to family, and Bonnie
get out of the crazy.
Get out of the crazy.
That's it.
That's right. Stop feeding the hole, and that's what I did. I stopped feeding the hole. We were looking for something more quiet, a little more relaxed, and by family. So
Yeah.
A little more real.
I'm really happy to be here.
Dad, Pops just can't handle the cold.
Yeah.
I
I can.
tried.
We tried.
Lord,
Yeah.
I was born a rambling man. Yeah, we know, Dad. We know.
Well, and I can appreciate that. I myself lived in Maine for 5 years, and I loved it. I grew to like the cold, and now I am, I'm like the complete opposite of what I was before. Before I moved up there,
Now
I used to
you
go.
have to have the heat.
Yeah, no, like now I have to have cold.
Yeah.
Like it used to be, I'd go out and help my dad, like build a porch on a house or go
Oh,
do
it'd
a
be
roof.
middle of August, man. No problem.
Yeah,
Swing
I'd go out.
hammer.
Yeah, we'd go out and put a roof on a house, and I'd go out and run sound all night outside. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I lived in it, and after 5 years in Maine, now I'm like a delicate flower, man. If it's not 72 degrees, like we got an issue right now because there is no breeze blowing, and it's hot.
Yeah. Right.
Like, if you want to come visit me, feel free to come over. I got beer in the fridge, but unless I'm making money, I'm probably not leaving my house.
That's right.
Because it's plain hot.
You know what the theory is, right? The theory is this is Pop's theory that you will live longer by keeping yourself refrigerated. Especially in Texas.
All meat, whether it's on the bone or trim,
You see what I mean?
stays longer if it's kept cold, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's why everybody's running refrigerators.
That's no theory. That's just fact.
You won't walk from one refrigeration to the next.
That's right.
I want to
right.
go when
It's an
I'm
increment
well
of-
aged,
That's it.
Well preserved.
well preserved,
Well-preserved.
well aged.
Too classy. Well, now, the topic for the evening, we were reading an article before we started, gentlemen, about a blogger who recently had an experience with Apple Music. And we did an episode on Apple Music right as it was released, and the fact that it was horrifying. People were leaving the platform. People that had paid to be with the platform had demanded their money back, all kinds of stuff. And now it has started coming out through people like this who are not only an independent blogger, but a musician, that they're, whenever you sign on to Apple Music, the program literally searches your computer, finds matching music in the Apple iTunes library, and says, "We see you like Pink Floyd. We have Pink Floyd. You no longer need this Pink Floyd album on your computer because we have it here." And it decides what to do with your own property. You've paid for that download, let's say from Amazon Music,
Right.
or someone like myself, or this guy who has 120 plus gigabytes of music that he has painstakingly gone through and ripped off of CD and stored over the years so that his CDs wouldn't have to travel, get scratched. Many DJs do this.
Or his new music, his original music that he's been making.
And that's what blows my mind. And that's really what was the spark on the tinder for this episode, was myself as a musician and an artist. Whenever I see like things like that, where it's like, "Hey, musician, welcome to the iTunes Music Cloud. Mm-hmm. We see you have your own original music here. We don't see it on our system, so we're going to absorb it into our system, change the format of it from a high-definition HD WAV file to a lower quality file to begin with, and then on top of that, delete it from your computer. Delete your own original data, your own original intellectual property. We're going to delete it." And that just blows my mind. That just blows my mind that it's even possible that could happen.
I don't understand how they can take your own stuff and download it to their cloud. I guess that's what it's called.
It's a cloud service.
Okay, and when they don't own it, and they make you sign, or as part of coming onto their system to turn it over, to them for their cloud, and then have the audacity to change the format.
Yeah.
How
Physically corrupt your art.
Yeah, well, they of course. Yeah. The reason they're doing that is so that the lowest common denominator person out there that can hear it, but still, it's your material. So how can they possibly say, well, we now own it because we downloaded it from your stuff and we will give it back to you?
Yeah.
But how can they
through the rental agreement?
Yeah. How can they do that?
Yeah.
How can they do that just anyway?
Yeah.
Because it's yours.
Yeah. And that
because
go ahead, Joshua.
Nobody takes the time to read a disclaimer. I mean,
thank you.
Literally, out of all of the sites and websites and places that we go to on a daily basis,
just used to click and accept.
Exactly. People are not going to sit there, read through like this blogger has gone through after
50 pages.
And there was smooth a good page of documentation just of the 3 things that he put up in that article. Just of the 3 paragraphs, there was smooth a page. So you're looking at a 10-page EULA. For those of you that don't know, a EULA, the EULA, the End User Licensing Agreement. Mm-hmm. This is what you click accept to, that I accept these terms of service, and these are allowed. And amongst that was the fact that not only could they take the data off your hard drive and put it up there, which welcome to the new way of them getting things other than your fingerprint,
right, from
your iPhone,
right.
Because it's already come out that the feds have gone through and cracked another fingerprint code on somebody's phone in a court case and demanded the data. Now, you're looking at things like that, and you're also looking, like you were saying, Pops, of the fact that these things, like, it's your own original artwork. So, number one, where do you get off taking my own original art? And number two, where do you get off changing my art? And changing the way, like, that's like coming in and adding some extra blue into a Matisse.
Exactly.
Because you think it looks better. And you've just changed the file format of my music and the way my music sounds intrinsically.
Matt Drudge talked about this when he was on with Alex
Infowars.
The other day.
Infowars, yes.
And he was talking about Facebook and Twitter.
That's it.
And all these. Okay, now here's how they're doing it. They're herding you into their ghetto, right? If you want to pay us and use this service, right? Then you're now subject to being in the ghetto, and you're not in your rules.
That's it.
Right? There are rules. Mm-hmm. These are right. How many thumbs up you get is your self-worth, right? Or whatever. Right? How many followers you have.
Emoji you want to put on.
Whatever emoji you want to throw down.
And that's it. It is the new, right? As we go forward into this future, these are the new arenas. These are the new ghettos. And you are being hurt. Well, you're not even being hurted. You're being lured.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no,
it's your own volition.
It's a true stick and carrot scenario.
Yes,
go ahead.
Of your own volition.
Yeah, go ahead, Pops.
Well, how can someone protect themselves from this?
Yeah. Number one, don't join clouds.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Don't join clouds.
Have your own personal cloud.
Have your own personal cloud. Set up your own personal server.
I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter.
You're already avoiding it. Exactly. You're already avoiding it.
Well, Dad, you still retain critical thought. In other words, you do not underestimate the power of your own critical thinking to remain a free person.
Yeah.
A free and rational man who will decide his own fate, right?
I'm a sovereign.
There you
Beautifully
go.
put.
Right? Mm-hmm. So all these people who are out there, Dad, we have had the death of critical thought.
Yeah.
At this point in time. Well, and none of these people...
By design.
Yes.
It's all by design.
None of these people actually believe in the power of their own critical thinking.
No.
they're trying to feed the whole. They're trying to consume and entertain and consume and be entertained. And once you hit super saturation, right? Well, the thing is they're going so fast towards entertainment.
Well, and
that they don't care to read, and then they get caught in the ghetto.
Well, and go ahead, Joshua.
Well, and the question is, like you said, how do they protect themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, there are ways around doing this type of technology that the forum that like Apple and the big clouds give is that they make it easy to do, right?
Yep.
And they make it a click. Well, there are technical ways to get around that stuff. You can still kind of be in that technical age, have access to certain things, just like the clouds do, but you have to have the knowledge in order to do it. So it
they have to have the knowledge.
It makes it so easy for them to set it up for
But
you.
they're stripping your whole
accept.
computer, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're stripping the whole damn computer.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to save something that they couldn't get to, you can't.
No,
They're
you
still
save
stripping,
it
right?
onto something that is not hooked
Back up,
to the internet.
back
Back up. That's it.
Nothing hooked to the internet.
Yeah, like a prime example, even right here in my pocket, I'm carrying a prime example.
You got your
if I can
USB.
dig it out. It's right in there next to the roll of certs. Give me about 3 or 4 minutes.
You got some
by,
Mentos?
by myself.
He got some.
If you could, gentlemen.
He got some German Mentos. Trust me.
Some of those Moroccan
Mentos. That's
Moroccan Mentos. So, yeah. But right here, thumb drives. That's the easiest way to do it. I always roll with my 64 gig thumb drive. I've got things on there. There is no way whatsoever, unless that's plugged into a machine, for anybody to access anything on it.
But the thing is, at some point you have to plug that in, right?
At some point, you got to plug it in.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to be hooked to a network.
You don't have to be hooked to a
So you
network
can be
to
local.
use it.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many people I've come across, and especially in your type of generation, doing installations and stuff, that they come across into the digital age, and they are wiped out when something happens, and they're devastated. And that's what I was going to talk about earlier. Is that until something catastrophic happens, like to that gentleman who wrote that blog, you're not going to read those that terms of service.
That's it.
Once that happens to you, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't have a backup. Well, now let me look into why it happened, and let's educate other people.
I think that's the key.
What's that?
Is education
Amen.
to any artist or anyone that has any kind of
Forum.
intellectual property that they need. It needs to be out, and it's not out because people.
Dad, and here's why: the corporations have a vested interest in keeping you dumb.
Well,
The majority.
Keeping the majority dumb,
60-70%.
so that you will continue to rent your life and everything in it from them. Your current work situation is a perfect example.
Uber.
Right. You are renting out yourself, and people are just renting little slots of time. Right? And you've come to where there
It's actually a great analogy for
there's
the way a server works.
there's no owner
It is.
there's no ownership
Yeah.
of the company, right? They don't own the assets.
right.
They're just getting you to rent them out for them.
Well, let me say this.
Go ahead.
One pinnacle of thought that I've always had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only as worth as much as I can get.
I understand.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've taught many people that.
So
And
so
that is
when
great.
that being said,
Yeah.
driving for Uber is a good thing
Yeah.
for me and
Sure,
for many thousands of people.
Sure. What I'm
Absolutely.
saying is, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not
Let's get off of Uber.
No, I'm not disparaging what you're doing. What I'm saying is everybody's going to a rental economy for your entire life.
Well,
Microsoft,
no matter what
wait a
it
second.
is.
That's right. Microsoft wants me to rent their their software for a year.
Oh, no,
instead of just getting to buy it outright. Apple wants me to sign up, and I have to pay them.
Verizon wants your phone business for 2 years.
Right. You've gone to rental life. You don't own. All my movies are in the cloud.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Exactly. So, and that was one of the very cogent points that author brought up, was the fact that media will no longer be yours. And he brought that up in quotes that for years I've been saying it will end up that the movies that you have bought will no longer be yours. You will be paying for the rights to watch the movie. But you will no longer be paying for the movie itself. You will no longer own it.
You can't buy a disc and watch it at your leisure. You have to
You're renting it. You're renting
it out of the cloud.
You know what? Right. That brings us to another point.
What's that?
Is that it's all data driven. I mean, from now here on out, it's about data. You know, so there is no more physical. It's about downloading and uploading.
Well, and not just that though. And what's really funny, because before we started, we had some really gold stuff. We were talking about FCC getting control of the internet and what led up to that. That kind of stuff. I've talked about this situation numerous times on the show, where
FCC giving it away to the internationals and the
not just that. It's
ISP now.
Well, it's the fact of you now have to register with ICANN as a website owner, which is an international registry that says I am Chris Jordan. I own this website. So there is no more like if you own a website, them not knowing who owns the thing or who set it up. They absolutely know. But aside from that. Is the fact of data storage, clouding, stuff like that. It was literally brought out recently that there was a huge hack that was done on Amazon Cloud. Now, I'm a big Amazon user. I don't store anything on the Amazon Cloud, even though I have like half a gig of space or something to use. But there was a huge data breach where apparently somebody in the government in Mexico had used the Amazon cloud to store all of this information for voters, and it was totally unsecured, and these hackers got a hold of like 500,000 registered voters' information off the Amazon cloud. So these are the concerns that you're thinking about whenever you join a cloud is, how secure is that cloud? It's not very secure. It was shown that even with the iPhone 4, was that the first? I'm not an iUser, but
I'm not either.
Nobody at this table is an iUser, fortunately.
Not an Apple.
Harumph. But I want to say it was the iPhone 4S that was the first one that allowed fingerprint technology to unlock it.
Yeah.
And there were literally people in Japan that were showing the fact that you could unlock it with your nipple. You didn't need a thumbprint. They would literally pop it up to their nipple, and it read their nipple as the access and let them in.
What is the diameter of areola that you?
I know, right? I know, right? To have enough mapping there for that to happen. This looks like a ridge.
Hold on, let me look at mine.
This looks like a ridge.
Hold on, does this
This
work?
looks like a But that's literally how secure it was. Like, here's what you were trusting with your security of your data. And
it's something that I
literally your life is in your phone, man.
That's
like
your information.
It's my information. It's my personal info. I've made emails on there.
All your texts,
all
everything,
my texts,
everything.
Now, where this leads us is directly into the conversation. Like I was saying, I've mentioned before this story of my buddy on Facebook who was a fellow audio engineer in Portland, Maine, Keith Mann. Love you, Keith. We belong to a lot of the same user groups.
Cheers, Keith.
They're just groups, forums, like what this guy had to deal with. But people who talk about stuff. And he's an audio engineer. He owns a studio. He's like, Waves plugins. You know me so well. I must buy a Waves plugin from ads on Facebook once a week. And I'm like, okay, number one, you've talked about Waves plugins on your Facebook page. So now Waves Plugins, who has those ads on Facebook, now is aware of the fact that you know of Waves Plugins. You will metrically start seeing more Waves Plugins ads on your webpage. Immediately.
On the algorithm, dude.
Not only that, but it's the fact of every little quiz you take on Facebook, every little game you play, all that stuff. And I work these conferences, folks. All of this stuff is metric data that is being sold to them for advertising. Your likes, your dislikes, your opinions, your face, your pictures.
Things that you look at.
Everything that goes onto Facebook technically belongs to Facebook.
It does not have to be on Facebook.
It doesn't.
Because...
in the user agreement.
For instance...
Google.
Any of their affiliates can use it as well, and they can sell it to them.
For instance, Google on the Android.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at a 370Z.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, guess what? The next thing that you see.
The next ads that I see, not just on my phone,
on your computer,
but on my computer,
because it's linked.
It's all linked. All of a sudden, I've got car ads coming out my wazoo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we used to literally, and it's come out now. Like the head of Samsung has recently come out and said, yes, if you own a smart TV, it has been listening to you.
Oh, it'll listen to you.
Not just it will listen to you, it has been listening to you for the last 5 years.
What?
Yeah.
Straight up. And we used to see it all the time whenever I was on broadcast, that we would come off broadcast and be eating lunch around the table, not be searching for anything, but literally be talking about a piece of gear. And when we turned around to search for it, the ads on the computer were what we were actively talking about.
The Internet of Things.
That's how far it's gotten.
And it's going to continue to go further.
Yeah.
Now that you have refrigerators.
No,
you
right
have
here.
your dingle.
I've got a smartwatch on.
Dingle watch.
I can literally put on Google search and make it search for anything.
The
voice
TV,
active.
the computer, anything that is RFID wireless.
Yeah.
And your electric meter that's now RFID. It's all coming. It's all coming in. They're all sucking that.
It's
stuff
all being
down.
piped in. Now, go ahead, Joshua.
To that end, I mean, as far as the advertisement and the sway of what you see to what you can buy, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? They're swaying your opinion.
Oh, yeah.
The other interesting thing is Google, they came out with an actual study that just by the Google searches people do, what Google and their algorithms can do for like political outcomes can sway by like 25, I'm sorry, no, it's almost like 40%, I want to say. Sway the public, whoever's searching, whatever they want you to see, as you search, that the top hits,
they can actively control that.
They can actively
They
sway
do
an election.
actively control.
That's what I'm saying. They can actively sway an election by like 40% of
prime
the people
example, Joshua.
That's insane.
Prime example of that. Not many people know that, number one, Facebook was started with In-Q-Tel money. Look it up. In-Q-Tel is actually the financial arm of the CIA.
It's CIA's best friend.
Well,
who else wants to know where you're at, what you're eating, who you're with?
The prime example of what you're talking about is the Arab Spring. Egypt. If you remember the overthrow of Egypt that happened about 4 or 5 years ago, that was fomented on Facebook.
Right.
That before anybody started meeting in that town square, that activity was fomented on Facebook. It was fomented on social media. So you look at what you're talking about and the fact that they can sway public opinion. If you remember, the same day that DHS, Department of Homeland Security, was refunded, the same day that the funding was pushed through, midnight vote, just like Obamacare, where it was too much to read, gotta pass it to read it.
Act of 1912.
Gotta pass it to read it. Was what it was for the FCC control of the internet and for net neutrality to pass. The exact same thing. The next day,
hope you like your healthcare.
Instead, right? Instead of the news being, "Hey everybody, Department of Homeland Security was refunded." Hey everybody, entire control of the internet was just given to the FCC, who does not control the internet by charter. They do not control the internet.
But
they only control broadcast.
But
what was the news? Everywhere. Not just on social media, but on the news. What color is this dress?
Oh, the blue gold.
Is it blue or gold?
You know what?
Is it blue or gold?
That's freaking crazy because my wife's seen gold and
Now,
I've seen blue.
Now,
so that's,
whatever crazy it is,
I don't know what the
it was
hell
all
that's
over
about.
social media,
Yes,
and
it
like
was.
you said,
It swayed.
steering the conversation.
Yep, exactly.
Used the exact same way to distract and defer from what's actually going on in the news.
The majority of the populace.
And what's funny, to go back to what the root of this conversation with Facebook control, selling your opinions,
Private
thoughts,
property.
selling your images, things like that. Whenever I tried to respond to my buddy with that and say, hey, Keith, just an FYI, all the little quizzes you take, all the responses you make to people's timelines, all the responses to the Waves plugins, those are actively being sold to advertisers, and Facebook is making money off your opinions. A nice little yellow box popped up with yellow writing that said, you are not allowed to make this post on a Facebook timeline.
No kidding. It was real time. They real time censored that.
They real-time censored me as to what I could say.
Really?
Say that again.
Yeah.
We're not-
Say that again.
Yeah, it'll blow your mind. But I literally have a picture of it at home, and yeah, whenever I tried to type on Keith Mann's timeline, that, hey Keith, just so you know, all of your opinions are being sold. It's all being sold as metric data to big data companies to advertise to you.
And you hit-
Facebook popped up a message
You
that
hit
said
send.
you cannot make this
You
post
can't
on
tell
Facebook.
your friend this.
Fucking Facebook.
You cannot tell your friend this. Dad, it goes right back to what you're saying. Education. Which means get off the farm.
Yeah, but what if they don't want you to educate people? Which exactly...
Therein lies the trouble.
That's what
Therein lies the rub.
That's what
as,
they've been
as
doing
Shakespeare would say.
since the 50s.
But they haven't had this
That's it, Pops.
They haven't had this platform to get it out. They've dropped
It's
the
a mess.
They dropped
It's
the
a mess,
boundaries.
Well, and
The
not just
boundaries
that.
are
It's like
endless
you were
now.
saying, it's the ease of which. And I see it happen all the time.
That's dropped
I've
the
seen it
boundaries.
happen with my mom, who's of your generation, Pops, where it literally, and it's nothing against it, it's the fact of, hell, we barely had computers.
No.
We barely had computers as a
their
generation.
generation is terribly trusting. You guys grew up when doors weren't locked.
Yeah.
Right? Doors weren't locked. The policeman was good.
Why
The
would you not
fireman was
trust
good.
your neighbor?
Haven't you seen that commercial?
The mayor was there to do what you were asking
However,
him to do.
you also have
and
to
that's
remember...
no longer the case.
You also have to remember, though, that along with that was also the counterculture revolution happening at the exact same time. And there was the Big Brother aspect. There was, like Pops was talking about, the aspect of, hey guys, what the hell are you doing? Why are you... I mean, hell, Vietnam in and of itself has come out to be a false flag.
Tonkin.
Like, the whole Gulf of Tonkin has come out to be utterly false. It's a false narrative. We were never attacked. We were brought into war.
I know people that were there.
Yeah.
You know
On
what?
top of Tonkin.
I'll have to give...
They didn't shoot at us. We can't do this. They did shoot at us.
You're going to do this.
This is your orders.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
You can follow orders, or you can be court-martialed
Or die.
or die,
Yeah,
because that's
just-
my right in the field.
You're just a MIA.
Yeah.
I just...
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, your boy was off.
Yeah.
Fell off the boat.
That's
You
it.
know what? I
Go
just
ahead.
want to make an observation.
Do it.
The United States of America left me.
I can't argue with that, Dad.
I am a citizen of the Republic. I am not a citizen of today's United States of America.
The new.
I am a
Democracy.
citizen of the
The
Republic.
Constitution.
And to the republic for which it stands?
I pledge allegiance
Republic.
to the Republic.
That's it.
No.
You can't say it anymore.
You can't say it. They took all that shit out.
They did.
They took prayer out.
Well, yeah,
They did.
they did.
And that was, I mean, the communists said, hey, we'll screw you from within because we know how.
What's the 10 points of the communist?
Oh, there's 50.
Well,
there's
the top,
50
the,
points
The
of
top
communism.
good ones, right? I mean, the 10,
But, yeah,
But
it's
anyway,
the
that
50
was
stated
just-
goals of communism.
But the U.S. left me.
Yeah.
So,
To get back,
I hope that Texas becomes a republic again.
It would be interesting. It would be nice.
Oh, by the way, I don't live in Pennsylvania.
That's right.
I live in Texas.
He lives in Texas
Hey,
with
guess
me.
what?
folks.
I was born and raised in Texas. So
You were.
I'm a native Texan.
That's
so
right.
They'll take me back at least.
We'd take Michael back too.
I'll be straggling along with my brother right behind me.
Michael spent the greater part of his life there. He is Texan by default.
By default.
By default.
well,
By
there was a
default.
big coffee can of Texas dirt underneath my crib, right, Dad?
That is correct.
Yes, there was. Yes, there was.
I just got to give it to our father Pops that, you know, without him, I don't think that you and I, well, I believe we might have, but to question and go down the road that we have with his influence. So, you know, I really appreciate your influence as us growing up, you know, what you've given to us to question and
Think
to
for ourselves.
think for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Love our country the way that it was and has been, and keep it true to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate that. So,
Well,
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. You know, you got to get off the farm now, right? Because it's too easy to stay on the farm. They want you to be on the farm, and they're sucking you dry like a battery.
yeah, you got to fill the hole.
That's
gotta
right.
fill the hole?
You got to fill the hole
It's
in.
too easy.
Well,
Just click a button.
Well,
Let's not
you
read,
got to
let's
stop
not
that,
read.
right? You got to stop that and just say, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to educate myself.
I did.
Right, wait, it's exactly what you did by coming here.
I did.
I can't fill it anymore with all this hollow plastic hologram bullshit. Yeah, this safe,
Beautifully said, David boys.
this safe space. You know, this safe space. I am offended and hurting because of your different opinions.
Oh my
right?
God.
Sticks and stones, right?
you know-
and instead of words.
All right, I'm going to cover
Yes.
this. I'm going to cover this topic right now.
Okay.
Because we got 10 minutes left. Are y'all feeling this?
All right, go ahead.
I'm feeling
I am
it.
feeling it.
I'm talking about carrying this on after our 10 minutes are up here and moving on, because that is a beautiful point of fact that our country has come to, is this coddling mentality that people just can't fucking take it. And we'll get into the coddling mentality of America whenever we come back from break here in just a minute.
All right.
But let's finish off this topic. Let's say, you know, because you brought up something very cogent earlier, and I want to say it was before podcast started, where you were saying, I am sovereign.
Oh, it was in podcast.
Was it during show?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it all kind of runs together to me with adrenaline and talking as to what's on mic and what hadn't been. Sure. Now, explain to me your concept of sovereign, because to me, the concept of sovereign has one of the most beautiful ideas in the world behind it, and is exactly what America is founded on and all about. So go ahead, Pops. Enlighten us on sovereignty.
I am sovereign because, number one, I think for myself. I am sovereign because I believe in God. I am sovereign because I believe in the Republic. I am sovereign because I do not recognize anyone's ability to govern me in a way that I do not agree with.
Exactly.
I am sovereign in that respect.
Yep. Yep. And, you know, to me, the concept of sovereignty is exactly the last point you brought up, that I am a free thinker. I can make my own decisions, and nobody has the right to govern me. And that is what our Constitution, that is what our country
It's based
was
on
founded
Magna
on.
Carta.
It was founded
It's common
on.
law. Now
Yeah.
that's why the sovereignty has been given away, and we have been codified
Yeah.
in congressional bills as chattel, right? We are animals,
Yeah.
because we are now working on we are working on the law of the sea. We're working on admiralty law for the majority. In fact, I'd say almost all of our laws are admiralty law.
Is that why most courts of law have a naval flag flying in it with gold fringe?
Yes.
Oh my God.
How about that shit?
What's that all about?
And where
we can throw you overboard if we need to.
Where
we got to get from A to B.
Wherein the captain is king, and what the king says goes, and we are outside of common law. Common law no longer rules.
Let me say,
and that's what sovereignty. That sovereignty. Once you're in common law, you're right, Dad. You are a sovereign. You are a sovereign man with natural rights by nature and by
all
God.
men endowed by God,
unalienable.
Go ahead.
And the thought that I have to negotiate my sovereignty on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I either will allow or disallow the things that I will let
come in. Yeah.
Like seatbelt laws. You see this?
That's a one finger.
You know, somehow or another, my generation
and ours
and yours
survive
somehow without a fucking seatbelt.
Now, granted, I'll put that one on my boy Ralph Nader. He was the one that brought the seatbelt laws to be. He was the one that brought about the whole national speed limit, things like that.
But even if
Ralph
it
Nader
only
was a big
saves
pusher for that.
one life, isn't it worth it?
The question is that one life not idiotic enough to get rid of via Darwin's rule?
Hell no,
That's
it's not.
That's the argument.
Hell no.
That's the question that comes to
Hold on.
Hey,
Now,
I
wait a second.
agree.
I've got some.
Is that? And this is coming from a race car driver. This is coming from the man that built race cars.
Exactly.
And drag cars. Yeah.
And drag racers. And cars that go over 100 plus.
Yeah, in like 4 seconds.
Yeah. And even he's like, hey, if you're stupid enough to drive that way, you may just be stupid enough to die that way.
I guess,
and that's your choice.
It's your choice.
That's your choice.
I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about ancient Rome, and ancient Greeks, and we were talking about children being born.
Yes. Bring this up because we will use this to seg into the next segment.
Yeah, and we were talking about children being born that have problems.
Yeah.
Look, the ancient Greeks, right? The Romans went and set that baby out on the side of the hill.
If it made it, it made it.
If it made it, it made it.
Providence.
If it didn't make it, that was natural law.
Will of the gods.
It was natural law.
Yeah.
Right.
The will of the
way
gods.
it is.
Yeah.
Right. And through technology, we've gotten so far ahead of ourselves in technology that we have allowed everything to survive, whether or not it is good for the clan or not.
Yep.
Is it good for the great? Okay, I mean, I'm taking this back to what is my definition of true love. My definition of true love is making a good decision for everyone involved, not just you. And sometimes that means you're no longer with us.
And not only that, Michael, sometimes that literally means the hard decision of, I am the squeaky wheel, and I'm the one that gets the grease.
Yeah. And
I'm the one that has to go. Go ahead, Pop.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm too fucking old, or whatever. It's time for me to go.
Yeah. You got to go on the long walk, bro.
That's right.
Walk up the mountain.
It's time for a walkabout.
That's right.
It's time for walkabout.
But see, we
The
don't have
American Indians did that.
we don't
That's
have
it.
that honor. There's no
There's
more
no
of
more
that.
sense of honor.
There's no
other
more of
than
that
for
honor.
those good people who protect our rights on a daily fucking basis
Okay, so the question-
across the ocean.
so the
There
que-
is no honor.
So the question
That's just me.
to me would be, why in this technological age, why would we want to sustain life for every single being, whether it be,
Ooh.
that's what I'm wondering.
Ooh,
So-
Joshua.
So
That's
why,
a moral quandary.
So why would we keep it perpetually going for even the weakest, or it's not the will of the gods anymore? what's the ultimate
It's the world
goal?
of technology.
No, we
Yeah,
need to
but
have
what's the ultimate goal?
we as a civilization, and really we as the United States, right?
Yeah.
Need to have a conversation about what does it truly mean to be a civilization, and what is your participation level in that?
And on that note, as we wrap this episode, literally talking about sovereignty, what it is to be a person, moving on to the next topic of just a pansy culture being created across the globe and utter PC taking over. Let's go back, as we finish this up, let's wrap with the thought of ancient Greece, 8 years old, the movie 300, and the fact of at age 8, you were sent out into the wilderness with a spear. If you come back, you deserve to be part of the community. If you don't, will of the gods. That is evolution. That's the way it takes place, and that is how you become a willing part and member of this community. On that note, everybody, that's it for this part of the episode. Please don't go away. We will be right back to cover this huge topic of where are we going as a people, what are we doing, and are we creating a soft society the way we're bringing up children now? When we come back, we will cover that topic right here on Dudes and Beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, I am. Well, hello, everybody. We're back once again. I am Chris Jordan, your host. I am here with my best friend and Harry Christian brother, Mr. Michael Davis, his younger brother,
What's up?
Joshua Davis,
Hello.
as well as Pops Davis, Steve right over here. We are talking this hour about, I guess, raising children, rearing children in a society, the responsibility that comes with it, the accountability that comes with it, and what kind of society we are actually building, not just in America, but in the world with technology and everything else.
What kind of society are we being handed right now?
Well, what are we
do
passing
need?
on?
Yeah.
What are we? We were passed something on. We were passed on a knowledge. What gets passed on? And when we come back from this message from our sponsor, we will tackle those topics and more right here on Dudes and Beer.
Do you love Halloween? Do you like DIY projects? ScaryDad.com is your one-stop shop for everything DIY, from projects and food recipes to book and movie reviews, as well as the awesomely awesome Scary Dad podcast. Halloween is not just a day on the calendar. It's a state of mind. So don't sit around wondering what you're going to do this holiday season. Log on to ScaryDad.com to join the mailing list. Get the latest ScaryDad.com news and updates, from projects and DIY videos to recipes and reviews. It's everything you've ever wanted in a DIY website and more. So stop on by and visit them online today. That's ScaryDad.com. Once again, that website is ScaryDad.com.
And we are back.
And we're back!
That's right. So Joshua brought up a great point at the end of last hour, talking about how do we decide where life goes. So bring that back up.
What's the question
get
again?
these.
Lay the question down
Okay,
again.
all right. So basically, what all we were discussing brought me to the point of, as we are elongating the lives of everyone, whether it be the weak, the strong, anyone.
Yeah.
All.
What is the ultimate point of that? Is technology actually actively? Is there some sort of goal that technology is trying to get to elongate our lives for some purpose?
Well, that's already been stated, and the fact is they've already come out in the last week and
Wait
said
a second. Who's they?
they.
That's the question.
I would have to look up the exact articles, which I can do presently as I'm speaking.
Well, that doesn't. That's
But
irrelevant.
it's kind of irrelevant. Yeah, I mean, they've come out in the last week and said, number one, they've been able to create sperm from human skin cells.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first human sperm has been artificially created. So the concept of having artificial life from the get-go is already there. In addition to that, they've also come out and said that all of these things are changeable. Just about anything that we have in the human genome is flexible according to time. So much like dogs or anything like that,
yeah.
we can be bred And that's been shown. That's been shown for the longest time. If you look at the gene lines of European social classes, higher social classes, where they had interbreeding, where only the high ups from this class.
Oh, you only get to screw your sister.
Class. Yeah. Right. And the point that I brought up earlier tonight, point that I brought up to my wife earlier tonight was, yes, absolutely, that has existed. It's existed for a long time, because she was saying she feels bad for dogs because we've done that to dogs. At one point, there were wolves and coy dogs. At one point, there were wolves and coy dogs, and that was all of 500 years ago. Something like that, where we literally started taking wild animals that didn't necessarily have the fear of humanity that a natural wolf would come close to the campfire at night, and we'd be like, hey, you're close to the campfire. Enemies don't want to come around a wolf. How about we give you some meat? There you go. Suddenly the wolf's camping out with you. He's sticking around. And you go, hey, wait a minute. What if we found a female wolf like this and we bred him like this? Then we'd have a whole bunch of wolves that like to hang around people.
Right.
And not
people who feed them.
Now, where we were getting with this was because we were talking about children, societies. What are we passing on to the next generation?
The nannyistic state.
Initiation rights into adulthood. And honor and actually participating in being.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff to me is. Especially being a Cajun, there were a lot of rites of passage. The shotgun at 8 years old, being taught to shoot, being taught to hunt,
the wood shop at being 6 years old.
Exactly, being taught
tapping your first deer with a 9mm.
At 8
years old.
Yeah,
eating the liver.
Yeah,
right out of the deer.
Right out of the deer.
Okay,
as an honor to its
presence.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
things that we all learned.
That was something you brought it up earlier. The Grecians, the Romans, the Spartans in specific had this mentality, and it went beyond like we have a malformed child, we have a child of ill health. Let's see what the gods deem, which is what the Romans did, what the ancient Greeks did, where they would take them out to the hills, and if that baby came back, then the gods deem him willing to live, we should take him in. The ancient Greeks in Sparta took it to a different point, and it was like, you're 8 years old now, we got to find out whether or not you're worthy to be part of this society.
That's right.
Because should anybody come in and I'm out at war, I got to know you got your mama's back.
Hell yeah.
Because not only did the women know how to fight, but the children knew how to fight. They knew how to defend their peace, and they knew how to provide for their home whenever dad was away at battle, because that's all that Spartans did.
Right.
They fought. They were either hired guns or they fought on their own, one of the two. And they would literally put their 8-year-olds out in the wilderness with nothing more than a wolf smock and a spear, and you got to fend for yourself for a year. And if you come back, welcome back. You're a member of the community. We will now train you as a warrior, and you will learn to take care of your community, Sparta. And that's all you know.
When you have taken away, as I believe we have in Western society, when you have taken away the entirety of participation in being, rites of passage, right? Then you are allowing everything to come through.
Yeah.
Whether or not it is good whether or not it goes to the definition of true love. My definition of true love, right? So are you making a good decision for everybody involved?
Well, now
by keeping things extended.
Go ahead, Pop, because I know, dude. I just read your mind. Go, you doing the pee-pee dance? You're doing the pee-pee dance in your chair. Go, man.
Go, man.
I lost it. Wait a minute. Wait a second.
You started going ooh whenever he said everybody. Let me recue your brain because I know where you're going.
Go.
All right.
Go. I've got to recue.
That sounds like a very, very socialist aspect to me, Michael Davis. Of everybody belongs. Now,
that's what I'm saying. That's what Western culture has built now.
Exactly.
Everybody belongs. Whether or not they fit or not, whether or not it's a good decision for what the fuck you're doing.
The prime example. Do you both have young children? Do you watch Sesame Street?
No.
Give it a check. Because let's see who all joins in. One of these things just don't belong. Yeah, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things. It was okay to be different. You were supposed to be different. You were supposed to stand out. One of these things just don't belong. One of these things is not like the other. And you were supposed to be able to spot what didn't belong. You were supposed to be able to spot what was not like the other. Now, it is one of these things is so unique.
How about that?
So unique. See, now, the question is, I as a kid did not belong. I was a very awkward kid. Shit, you knew me my freshman year in college. Did I weigh over 100 pounds wet? This size?
Yeah, Mr. String Bean.
Yeah, I was literally this size, 6'3" tall, weighing less than 100 pounds with size 16 feet almost. No skill with a basketball whatsoever was blessed upon me. So there was no reason for me to be this tall. There was no reason for me to be this awkward or fumbling. No. I've since grown into my body. But it doesn't necessitate saying that I was picked on as a kid. I was a target.
Sure.
I teamed up with people like Michael and met people like Michael because he was a quick-witted dude who was pretty quick about knowing people. And hey, if I knew Michael, he would be my friend. Like you were saying in the last part of the episode, you had some smarts. You had some cognitive thinking skills and some critical thinking skills. As did I, as a target of bullies. And I happened to notice real quick who said, hey, bully, fuck you. Yeah. And that was my buddy. And those were the people that I looked for my whole life to be my fucking buddy. And now I'm that dude that's like, hey, bully, fuck you. Like, it blows my wife's mind. I will go up to my neighbors blasting their stereo, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. You need to you're the only one complaining because I'm the only one with the nuts to fucking complain to you. Turn your shit down, you bastard.
Turn it down.
It's not my fault if the rest of society deems your shit fucking worthy to listen to. I don't. I want it turned the fuck down.
Right.
So turn it the fuck down because that's what neighbors do.
So, okay, I have an issue, or at least a way, because right now we have been bred to not win or lose. I mean, or we have been taught, our generations.
You weren't taught by me that.
No, we weren't.
This is societal pressure.
You're right. So that's
this is
where I'm
cultural
starting.
pressure.
Yeah.
So basically, from our generation, the millennials on, capitalist is evil inherently because it breeds winners and losers, and that's the problem.
breeds competition.
It breeds competition, and the winners win, and they continue, and the losers lose. Well, guess what? That is wrong now. There are no winners. It's all participation, and that's where our kids are being bred and educated.
They're being reared. They're being reared.
Exactly, Joshua.
Reared to.
No, I would say bred.
That is right now, because you
rear people, you breed animals.
You know what? Children.
All right, man. Point taken.
Start
here
from their parents.
Yeah.
You know, their first influence is parents.
Yeah.
You know, and that I believe that wholeheartedly is that. You know, even I am guilty of that association. You know,
you're guilty of it to a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, your wife's definitely guilty of it to a certain degree.
We all are.
All of us are.
At some point.
Hops giving the wisdom cue on the left-hand side over here. Nix that! Stop that right now, boy. I like your wife much more than you. Shut up.
But that's the problem. Participation. That is rewarded.
When did we all start getting a participation award?
It wasn't my generation.
It definitely wasn't mine because I lost a lot of shit.
We still played fucking dodgeball
regularly and was pointed at for the one that lost it.
And got the red ball to the fucking face.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's, again, why we kind of moved to, a slower area that would be more, community oriented and hopefully kind of push those ideas out the door. But I mean, still,
this whole thing, we were talking about it earlier tonight, wherein I was taught sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Okay, so if you're ignorant enough to call me fat or nerd or lazy or whatever, right?
Call me nerd. Who rules the world?
Call me every name.
now, right? Yeah.
Right? Call me every name, but guess what? I am strong enough to let those things just roll off of me.
That's it.
Because I didn't break a finger and my nose isn't bloody.
Blood's
right?
not gushing.
Blood, right.
No blood, no foul.
No, right.
That was the basketball rule.
Right.
No blood, no foul.
Right. But now, and literally they are teaching our children in school, words are weapons and they hurt people.
And that brings me straight
and not
up.
in my house. Not in my house. It's sticks and stones, boys. And chick. Sticks and stones.
And the careful line that you have to tread there, and this is something that I brought up to you in the truck whenever you brought that up earlier, was if that's the case, if words hurt, if words are dangerous, if words harm people, well, let's take that one step further to the actual textbook Webster's Dictionary definition of terrorism.
Yes.
Which is the use of violence and violent language
Fear?
by which, and fear,
Fear.
to get your political point across.
To sway opinion
To
politically.
sway opinion politically.
That's right.
So, by that factor, every single political ad by any politician saying, do you think this is going to happen? Barack Obama's going to make this happen.
Right.
You should be afraid of that. That is by definition terrorism. And they should be stopped. Every single political ad, every single political action committee should thereby, by constitutional law, be stopped because you are actively participating in terrorism by frightening the American people with your words.
And the problem is, and
By bringing
we'd
fear
be,
into it.
Hold on.
be in good company.
We'd be in great company, bro.
Miss Clinton.
she better run.
Miss Hillary Clinton. Hilary.
Dude, hilarious.
Hilary.
Cutlery.
But and those are the dangerous precipices
It's the
upon which
slippery
we
slope.
walk. It is. It's a
It's
very
a slippery
slippery
slope.
slope.
Right.
Because those are the extremes. It could be either extreme right or extreme left. And like Joshua brought up before we hit record, buddy, there ain't no extreme right or extreme left. It's a fucking circle. It's a fucking
And it
circle.
matches, right, it touches.
The two ends touch.
Right.
And they cross right over each other's paths and just keep on going.
Exactly.
You know.
I think to take this back to, we need to have a conversation about what it means to actually participate in our civilization, in our country, in our culture.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, okay,
what does that mean?
Hold on. The majority of people are waiting for
leadership.
It's
They're
no longer
looking for a savior, bro.
It's no longer self-sufficient.
Couldn't.
You cannot be self-sufficient. 99% of the society
I would agree with that.
Cannot be self-sufficient if their water doesn't flow, if their lights don't turn on,
if they can't go to the
Okay.
store, if they can't go to the
hold up,
store
hold up.
every 2 days.
Pops had a point. We'll get right back to that. Go ahead.
Couldn't we relay this in the fact that damn it.
You lose it again. You see, everyone.
Grasping while he runs. Yeah, self-sufficiency.
That's
doing
where
things
I was
for
at.
yourself.
Because 99% of the population it's not self-sufficient.
Dazzled you with our wit.
Well,
and wonder.
Literally, this is the issue that I have with it, is the fact of 90% of people aren't self-sufficient, and whenever you come to the fact of that, whenever you come to the fact that my grandfather's generation, that's passed on to his generation.
Yes.
How to grow things, how to do stuff, how to take care of yourself. The real question, there's a great series. I watched tons of documentaries. That's literally probably close to about 80% of my television watching or viewing is documentary stuff, learning things. I literally just sit back and work while it's on, and I'm like a sponge. I just soak it in. And literally, one of the documentaries that I watched recently was How We Got to Now.
Okay, yeah.
It's a great series. It's out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And the first one, you were talking about people don't know what to do when this happens. The first one was literally about indoor plumbing and about how it has changed the world. You may or may not remember this, Pops. My father remembers growing up showering from a fucking bucket behind his house.
Well, probably up at
the
camp.
They didn't have indoor plumbing. And dude, you say that, but literally until the 1930s, indoor plumbing didn't exist in America. So where the fuck did we do? Mm-hmm. How the fuck did we exist? How the hell did we manage from 1774 when Jamestown came around, or 73, something like that.
All right.
It was before 1776, definitely. Jamestown, where they went cannibal and started eating each other and shit.
You're talking about Roanoke, man.
Happened far before America was actually founded as a country. They were the first settlement, and things went awry. Things went crazy. Indians attacked. They had a harsh winter, and people got eaten.
1600s.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah. Still, how did we manage from then till the 1930s with no indoor plumbing, but yet still we had a government and a people that could take care of themselves and handle things?
Dude, because...
and now, since 1940, let's say, even in the 50s, we had people that had no indoor plumbing. Even now... Captain's over there having a drink, everybody. He's joining Dudes and Beer in the background. That's the dog in the house.
That's the big dog in the house. Yeah. What's up? What's up, House?
Big dog.
But literally, that infrastructure didn't even exist for some of Pop's life in most of the country.
Right.
My first cradle was an orange crate.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
you're right, you made
how'd you even make it? How'd you even live without rubella and rickets, dude? What the fuck?
And that's what
scurvy,
and without Obamacare to boot, to take care of that rubella and rickets.
Actually, the answer is quite fucking well.
Yeah, the answer is very well, and with a little bit of polio. But
hey, man, I'm gonna throw my shout out to Rotary right now. Eradicate polio. Dude,
that's it.
We're this close.
It's a good thing.
We've gotten it down to 2 countries in the whole world.
Yeah,
and polio will be eradicated.
But
it's gonna come back.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's still going to come back.
It's in the form of like Zika,
Mother Nature.
In the form of Zika or whatever.
Believe me, my friend, when it comes down to it, we will be the fucking dinosaurs in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's by our doing or Mother Nature's doing, but it will fucking happen.
Oh, sure.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Whether it's tomorrow or 4.5 billion years from now, when we get swallowed. Yeah.
To bring it back to the topic for this hour, it's literally the fact of what are we breeding? You brought up a point between breeding and rearing, and I said I refuse to believe that we are rearing human beings.
I'm rearing human beings.
You're rearing human beings.
No,
most people are not.
Most people
are not.
Granted, maybe I'm a little dire on that. I have really good faith in my fellow human being, but I really just, from the years I spent teaching, from the years I spent working with youth, even in the late 90s to the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And seeing it carry on into now, I really see breeding, not rearing, happening. And a lot of it came to the fact of we surrender control to our teachers.
Right there.
We no longer, and I mean, buddy, I taught 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. These are kids that should be coming to fucking school knowing ABCs. They should be coming to school knowing their basic words.
It all comes back down to your parents.
To the parents.
The first influence in your...
Exactly.
As soon as you come out of the womb, that's your first influence.
And now you have...
That tears me up.
Now you have commercials like on NBC, or MSNBC rather, where it's, your children don't belong to you. They belong to the collective.
To the state.
Clinton
right.
They belong to the collective.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. She did.
Yeah.
Your children belong to the collective. And that to me is a disturbing fact.
Well, you know what? You get down to, you really get down to, the little white lies that we tell, and Aristotle talking about the little white lie.
Hey, let's go into the cave, bro.
Yeah, for real, right?
How is this not Plato's cave?
Hold on, let me grab you by the hair. We're gonna drag you out into the sunlight.
We're going back to Greece,
right? Yeah, but the little white lies that we have to tell, and the great lies for the state that he had talked about, where the children belong to the state and they're raised by the state instead of raised by the parents, right?
Yeah,
and there's and it would only be by really people who held on to the values that we would hold, right? Making good decisions for everybody and so on and so forth, that would even work. But where I'm going with this is human nature, right?
Yeah.
Communism, children being owned by the state, everything works great on paper until you add greed and power.
Oh, sure.
And those two things will corrupt.
Sway it one way or sway.
Go ahead, Pops.
Which is human
Mike,
nature.
go answer your phone.
Which is human nature.
Yeah.
Greed and power always devolves.
Exactly.
From the pure.
Yep.
And
well, and that's just it. People don't realize the fact that there is an inherent, and maybe this is just the Augustinian philosopher in me, who believes that there is an inherent corruption to mankind. The four of us can sit around and plan a perfect society. As soon as we bring four more dudes in, that perfect society changes by double. Like the opinion, like the changes to the regime and what's happening and the utter plan, like you said, is exponential. Because now you've brought in double the amount of people, and once you like. The true concept of Christianity, the true concept of coming, enjoy, like it was the first sense of communism. It was the first community where when you joined the community, everything you had became the community's. Whenever you joined Christianity back in the day, everything you had became part of Christianity. Your house, the tunnels under your house, the food you had, the money you had, everything became part of that collective. And you gave freely to it. Under the guise of Christ and Christianity, that's a beautiful thing. Once you start bringing in the inherent corruption of humanity, somebody's going to get rich off the shit. That was seen. That was seen even in Rome. Once they got away from the concept, like you were saying, of the republic, which is what we're based on. We're based on the concept of a republic.
Constitutional
republic, but no less republic. The concept of the people are the rule. And back in the day, in Greece and Rome, that's where the term blackball comes from. They had a very simple voting system. You were, Joshua, the representative for Mercer Township. You voted on behalf of everybody that was not a slave, that was a landowner, that was able to vote, had a say to what to do in the community. Those were basically the rules. You were not a slave. No,
that's why
you were a landowner.
That's why we set it up when we got here like that.
Well, yeah, and granted, we did as fast as we could through the means of humanity to get rid of slavery, get rid of that stuff. And we were among the first countries in the world to get rid of slavery, despite what anybody actually thinks. You can change history all you want, but the fact is we were very progressive on that. We changed that as soon as we could.
Even today, even though we have slavery here in the United States, even today, with prostitution, young girls, and this, that, and the other.
Oh, we have a horrible slave trade in America.
Human slave trade. Human trafficking is huge in America.
Well, and people have forgotten that. People forget the fact. That's a very cogent point to bring up, Pops, because not everybody realizes the fact that is alive and well. That is hugely alive and well, even here in America.
How many people go missing
every year?
Girls every year.
Every year.
Thousands.
That's just it. That's just it. And, Go ahead, Joshua. You had something to say.
You know, well, it's all bringing me back to like our original points where I'm thinking of 6 degrees of separation.
Okay.
You know, where within 6 points of any person's one contact with the boundaries being dropped, that you can reach, like, one person can reach 7.8 billion people in 6 degrees of separation. That's more than
probably
the population.
Like 4. Yeah.
It's actually more like 5 degrees of separation right now with the current technology. So I'm just thinking back to our original premise where we're talking about Apple and
education.
Well, the
technology,
the raping, all those things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the collusion of all those things.
The collusion of all those things, and the people who are behind the idea that understand this, that like say, okay, guess what? Now that we're at this point, we can use this technology to reach all of this stuff and take all of these things.
Solidify power.
You solidify
That's
your power.
right. It's greed. You solidify monetary gain, and you solidify power.
Exactly.
By being able to control.
And they've dropped they've seen the boundaries drop, right? And with this like 5 degrees separation with, you know, social media and the clouds, and like this is data. This is ones and zeros. But guess what? It's mine now. I'm taking it. I'm going
number
to
one.
Redistribute.
It's created this
It's giving me the power
to launch off what you're talking about. It's literally created a blurred line between reality and imagination, as well as accountability and responsibility. Mm-hmm. If y'all recall, even before we started this.
Yeah. Completely.
I gave y'all a disclaimer.
Yes.
I gave y'all a disclaimer that whatever we say here will not be edited. If you think that it will get you fired, if you think it will get you in trouble with your kid's teacher, if you think it will get you in trouble with your wife, don't say it, because I'm not going to be responsible. You're the motherfucker that said it. So you're responsible.
Accountability.
You're accountable.
Right.
Now, we have, with this internet world, created, much like we were saying, with the inclusion, with the fact of everybody's a winner. You know what? Everybody isn't a fucking winner. That's not the way the world works. You don't get paid for participation. Mm-hmm. You get paid for success. That's what you get paid for in this world. You don't get paid just, to me, it sounds hokey, but to me, the movie Fight Club changed my whole fucking paradigm. Oh, you choose your level of participation.
Exactly. Fucking
you chose your level of participation in Project Mayhem.
Yes.
You chose to be fucking oblivious. That's your responsibility, not mine. Your responsibility to yourself and your side of society does not preclude me from the truth that I know.
And that's where we're at now. We have systems. We have systems that have gotten so much power.
Exactly.
And we have a government that has gotten so much power, and neither one of them are accountable.
It's a mantra on this show and a mantra in my life. I'm not going to say I was the biggest.
Because they're hiding behind data. Yeah. There's no faces anymore.
That's it.
There's no participation or rights of initiation.
The thing is, though, on the opposite side, society thinks there is. Society thinks these opinions are their own.
The illusion. You're right. The illusion.
When literally...
It's the illusion of participation.
When literally record arrests...
It's an illusion of right of initiation.
Michael, record arrests are being made in the state of Texas right. You may ought to check out the stuff on record arrests from social media in the state of Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Because it's happening. Like, Texas Parks and Wildlife has recorded like 100-fold arrests. 100-fold, man. Like 100 times more arrests from people showing like, look at this badass deer I shot on the hill in my backyard. Motherfucker, it is July. Number one, your backyard is not proper hunting territory, nor is it deer season. That's a felony, you bastard.
Number two. Number three, strikes you out.
Look at this gator I shot in my back slough.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't have a gator tag.
The CIA.
It's law enforcement.
It's law enforcement, period.
best friend.
It's governed.
Show me what you're doing. Show me who
That's
you're
it.
with. Show
It's
me
the
where
perceived.
you're at.
It's the perceived
Tell me
concept
how
of
you're
privacy.
feeling. Tell me how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking feeling nervous.
That's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just
Do
shot
you
a
remember
fucking Bambi.
just before, like I was saying in the last part of the episode, just before they came out, just before the red and blue or the gold and blue dress, just before all of that, was the fact that they had come out publicly and said that the CIA teamed up with Facebook and was doing poke tests on people, putting bad news on their timeline to see how they react.
To nudge them.
To see how they reacted as a litmus test, like, oh, so-and-so died in my family of this. How do you react?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I did read also that as you were posting face fucking book police, as you would write whatever whatever you felt, even if you deleted that
it's still there,
conversation, they would see what you were.
You think that lifetime crawler ain't happening, bro?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Now that's why I will not let my children go on to the ghetto. You are not trash. You are not someone's chattel.
You're gonna have them at 10 degrees of separation.
Yes. No.
I could see Mike Davis doing that straight up.
No, he does.
Straight up.
And you
I
know
do.
what?
Absolutely. Dude,
it's a difference.
They're
between-
lucky he even put back the cable line after he chopped the shit in half by accident, motherfucker.
Well,
You
that's
shouldn't
what
have.
happens with like texting the family and stuff. You know, I mean, like.
Oh yeah, that's right. You came.
He came back home. Yeah, he came back in the area.
We
Yeah.
repair shit, you know, and take care of stuff.
No, it's not gonna happen. I am not your chattel. Right? My children are not your chattel. We are not in your ghetto.
And I see the pressure that is put upon them to even
get in there.
To get in there.
To be a part of it.
And I know, and I
you're in there.
Facilitate, you know, that portion of my children, which, you know, I see it, I understand it, and I see the differences between just the family. Brother to brother, cousin to cousin.
You understand the want and the desire, but it's the necessity.
Exactly. And you know,
necessity. What do you mean necessity?
It's
when
the
you say that, what do you mean?
Here's the thing, because we as people, we as Americans, number one, and you lived abroad just like I did. Same school.
I've been a long time. I've been in all kinds of
same
places.
school. You went to all kinds of places.
Yeah.
Do they have the necessity that we as Americans have for this kind of shit? Do they have the necessity for it? No. They don't.
Because
they don't have the necessity of a car.
Their lives are simpler.
They don't have the necessity of a car. You were talking earlier about Finland and how great. It's fantastic. It's great. It's awesome. Sure, it's great. It's awesome. Do you want to pay a 42% tax on your life? Do you want a car to cost on average $42,000?
What do you mean? What do you
an
mean?
economy
42% tax on
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
well,
like
because
75.
yeah,
New Yorkers pay 75%.
yeah.
add it all up.
Yeah, after you add up federal taxes, state
Everything.
taxes, all that kind of stuff.
75%.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely. And that's an obscured percentage, though, because they don't tell you that. But if you look at all the numbers, like Finland will be straight out about it. Like, yeah, we have a 42% tax, but that is how we pay for this socialized medicine. Everything else. Now, I mean, you know, people say like, "Oh, the Medicare system needed to be rebooted." No, it didn't. It worked just fine.
Like your fucking
if you recall, that whole beautiful Obamacare system was based on a couple things.
I hope you like your affordable care.
Number one, it was Romney Care.
Yeah, it was
based
Massachusetts.
on Massachusetts.
There was state-based, yes.
Ask my sister-in-law how much they like their $3,500 a year bill that they get to pay.
Or my father, Pops, his $2,500 a month because a pre-existing cancer with our stepmother.
Yeah,
who
that's not even his.
Literally broke his back trying to fucking afford
$2,500 a month.
Just a premium.
Just a premium.
And that
just
doesn't even... that doesn't even
just to have the option, bro.
Nobody kissed me every month.
That's
guarantee.
it.
I know,
you got
right?
no flowers every Monday.
No reach around.
That's tough right there.
Bullshit.
Hey,
That's just tough right there.
a little blow in the ear before some action happens would be nice. Get me in the mood. Something. Maybe some art, a glass of wine.
Can I have some? Can I have a little classical music, please? Just a little.
Something. Anything.
Yeah.
But you know, it is one of those things, like, especially living in Texas, dude. We are like the cancer center of the fucking world. Where is there anywhere better than MD Anderson? In the world, I challenge you. Except for maybe the
Cleveland.
Experimental stuff that they're doing in, like, Belgium
Europe.
and stuff like that, where it's like targeted radiation. They isolate that one thing. It's there. It's gone. Doesn't radiate your entire body and your blood system like normal chemo. Other than that, it's pretty much America where everybody comes for all of their health ills because we got the best in the world.
That's exactly right.
So what was broke with our system? Other than the fact that we let insurance companies come in and start demanding the rates for doctors instead of doctors saying, this is what I charge for my service. Yeah. It's no different than a union coming in and saying, Chris, you have to charge this much money, but this client doesn't have this much money. Doesn't matter.
We are far down the road to hell being paved with good intentions.
Absolutely.
That's exactly where we're at.
And like we said at the beginning of this, it's a dangerous, slippery slope
The
that we're
road
on. It's
to
a
hell
dangerous precipice.
Is paved with good intentions.
Now, you did say something about cancer. And,
Yeah.
And well, we got on the discussion of cancer. And, you know, back in the day, there's probably been cancer since day one, right?
Sure.
So
some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Which all of our GMO foods and all of the processed foods and everything might have perpetuated the cancer, right?
No,
in society.
It wasn't might. It did.
It did. Okay. Well, but back in the day, like of your parents or your great grandparents, there was cancer. So it did affect people. They just didn't know what it was because of the technology. So
let me tell you one thing real quick. I can't count on any fingers and toes any woman in my family has died in the last fucking decade. Just maybe one. I think there's one that died of like a heart problem. The rest of them were pretty much taken by cancer.
So you're saying the
just about all of
perpetuation of cancer,
just about all of them,
based on technology, because we have to feed so many more people. We have to increase food production. We have to increase. We have to have chickens with 6 freaking wings or 6 fucking legs to feed.
We
the
need to make
population
giant
base.
Frankenfish. Yes.
This is perpetuating the cancer
It's a slippery
issue,
slope.
which cancer has always been around.
The question.
Well,
It's
go
been
ahead.
perpetuated
Go ahead.
by
Last thought on this.
Talk about autism.
Yep.
Autism 50 years ago was like one in
A couple hundred
one
thousand.
in I don't know, a couple hundred or
More.
2 to
Yeah.
3,000
Yeah.
maybe.
No, a couple hundred thousand.
Couple 100,000. Today it's like 1 in 50.
Yeah.
One in
But think about
Okay.
One in
it.
88.
One within
Wait,
100.
Wait,
Easy.
think about it, Dad.
How did that?
It's percentage. They're compared to then to now. What is there? There's
Well, there
6
are numerous
billion people.
There are numerous
There's
quantitative
more
things.
chemicals in.
Okay,
and
Okay,
around
here's
us.
here's another fact that you may not have even considered into that number.
Oh.
We also
Robert De Niro. Dude,
I'm with you.
put the film out. Put the
I know
film out.
about Vax and,
Yes.
and the film and everything else, and I'm not denying the fact that there's mercuric compounds and
Squalene
and stuff,
and
everything else. However, you also have to look at the fact.
Immunization.
You also have to look at the fact that in the last 50 years, the birth rate to death rate, like as far as the number of children dead in childbirth, the number of children that did not die through miscarry, has vastly changed. The number of children that made it into that. You can't diagnose those things in the womb. You have to wait till they're out and they're numerous months old for them to develop.
Yeah.
Those things did not exist until now. because of the number of children that died in utero, because of the number of children and mothers who died in childbirth, because of the lack of modern technology that we have now to bring mothers and children through that, because of the lack of in utero care, because of the lack of in utero health issues, being able to take a kid to NICU. Prenatal or natal ICU. That shit didn't exist in the 1950s unless you were the fucking Rockefellers, brother.
Children.
I'm 100% right.
So
I dig.
those numbers, whenever you consider that, vastly change. Because of the number of children that are born, period, just by modern technology. Where typically they may have died in utero or the mother may have died in childbirth. Something like that. So there are some number juggling to be done.
This really is what...
To that degree?
Now, I'm not denying the fact, like I said, I'm not denying the fact that there's some absolute viable scientific evidence there. That there is some... I mean, hey, thalidomide. Good God, thalidomide. Back in the 60s, 70s, stuff like that. That affected children of our generation. Strontium 90, DDT, all that kind of stuff that was straight up in the water, in the milk. Hell, I make the joke all the time of women in Texas. You go around and look at a 12-year-old in Texas, man, and good God.
She's 25.
It might just be because of all the beef hormones in the
beef water
in Texas.
You know what?
It may just be because you got a mainly beef diet and you live in Texas.
Here's
that you're developing like prepubescently. Like even kids now. You look at the way that they grow and it's like, good God, you're a giant, son.
Yeah.
Like you are like 11 years old. You have no reason to be this big.
Right.
So. There is some status to that.
But you know what? This is kind of what I'm distilling from this. I'm starting to think that we have already instituted big dog drink. We've already instituted, or we've also, or we have already substituted participation and rites of initiation into clan with technology.
Exactly. And that's just it. Because
we are using our technological prowess
as a rite of passage
to keep people alive and to connect people and to validate them, and there is no more weeding out process.
Well, there's no more gut process.
Right.
Could that not be said? Could it not be said that is the job of civilization?
It's who's in control of the technology, Dad.
That's yes.
True, but
it's who's in control of the technology.
Whether you're a Greek or a Roman
or an American in 2015, 2016 now.
Yeah.
Isn't that
21st century?
Isn't that pretty much?
Yeah, but
civilization.
Now wait a second.
But
what? No, I'm gonna say no. That is not what civilization means.
I'm gonna say yes, but who is it controlled by?
That becomes my question.
And
right, because survival is right. When you add technology, right, you are now superseding civilization. You're going one more
superseding nature.
You're going.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Nature.
And here's why.
No,
I wouldn't go horribly that far. And here's why. And I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not a big naysayer on a lot of things, but I am a big believer in Darwin, and I love the man, and he had some great theories. And it wasn't that the strongest survive, if you recall. It's that the most adaptable survives.
Right.
The most adaptable creatures in nature.
To
adapt to its surroundings.
The one most able to overcome.
The one most able to adapt to its surroundings.
All right.
And if you have a brain that can give that to you,
yes, then you become a dangerous individual in this modern culture. And that's absolutely the truth. It is. It has literally become.
And why do you think everything comes down into the education process? Because you have kids with brains full of mush that are
totally hooked in,
that are easily
molded. Easily. They got your kids twice as long as you have them on a daily.
Exactly. Unfortunately.
That's true.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have them and be able to teach them.
That's it. And God bless people like my brother. God bless people who encourage. And it's hard in this day and age. It's so fucking not just homeschool, man, but to have a parent at home.
Oh, yeah.
Man, or like, granted, quite honestly, I'll admit it, and it may be un-American, and it may be unmanly, but fuck anybody who says so. My dream is to be the karate dad. My dream is to be the guy whose wife is out making her money acting, and you know what? I'm making lunch for my kids, and I'm taking them to school, and I'm picking them up, and I'm asking them how things went, and I'm going to the parent-teacher conference, and I'm taking them to karate. That's my dream. I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I want to be the dad that raises my kids.
We've already changed. That's already changed.
That has changed.
Because the money situation, when you start when they took control of currency, right? When Amsher Rothschilds,
well, and we can rabbit hole that way all day long.
When big money took control of currency, right? Then and started the watering down process. And it made it impossible for a decent life without two incomes. And mom had to leave.
Exactly.
Now,
come World War II.
But wait a second.
Come the Great Depression.
I'm all about equality.
It started in the mid-'60s.
Exactly.
It started in the mid-'60s.
Exactly.
It was not before. It started in the mid-'60s.
Yeah, no, it started straight up with the liberation movement, things like that.
But but by then the currency had already been watered down, Dad.
Yeah. Well, most definitely. I mean,
you just didn't see it.
You could go back to the Great Depression,
and it became a necessity at that point.
In the 60s.
In the 60s,
yeah,
it started
because the devaluation had happened. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
The devaluation.
Well, not just that, but you're looking at Cloward and Piven strategies, the beginning of ghettos. We can bring it right back to the ghetto.
That's it.
Right
That's
back
it.
to where we started this episode. In the
I
ghetto.
Am not your chattel. I am not on your electronical world.
Yeah.
Okay? I am on the real world, and only those people who come to my campfire right back there are my friends, and I love and trust. And that's it.
Well, and
don't give me a fucking thumbs up.
The scary issue about that is that and this is a topic for another time. This brings up larger topics for Dudes and Beer and later conversations. Mm-hmm. Does that bring us to an exclusionary society? Does that bring us to a society where we truly do believe that we are better than other people, when in all reality we are no better than anybody else?
Nobody's special.
We have no better contract.
Nobody's special.
Social contract than anybody else in the world. We are visionary in the freedom that we have in America, and it was told to us very carefully and very explicitly, distinctly, that if you do not protect these freedoms, you will not have these freedoms.
Oh, you mean your republic if you can keep it?
That's it. That's it. Well, and even
freedom will come.
Even George Washington, the patron of the state of Pennsylvania, if you recall, on our money originally, it said, "Mind your business."
Here.
It didn't say, "In God we trust."
Here.
Dennis Moninger of Nomad Sound recently posted an image of one of the original coins, and it said, "Mind your business."
No shit.
Because literally one of the biggest phrases out of George Washington's mouth ever was, "The business of America should be the business of America. And only the business of America.
And not the business of
the rest of the world."
That's right.
Whatever happens out there, let it fucking happen.
Well,
we worry about this republic.
And that's why
we worry about this realm of freedom. Nothing else, because this realm of freedom does not exist anywhere else. It doesn't exist anywhere else. So the business of America should be the business of freedom and the business of America. Screw what any other country thinks about us. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
That's right.
And
That is
screw the Illuminati.
Screw the Illuminati and your handshake. I got your handshake right here. It's a one-fingered one. Reach on down. On that note, everybody, we're going to wrap it for this episode of Dudes and Beer. This has been amazing, guys.
Hey, man, really, you know,
It's been beautiful.
You know, brother, I love you so much.
Speak on, my guy.
And
Gotta
I-
give it up to
I'm not
Chris.
gonna say you don't. Go ahead.
I
Tell
know,
me.
but
Tell the world how much you love me. Go ahead.
But you have turned into an amazing man since I have begun to know you.
Thank you, my friend.
And this Dudes and Beer podcast series is just one small testament to that. And being able to have my father and my brother from another mother.
I hear it too, man.
You know,
I'm right here.
Amen.
at my kitchen table.
That's it. That's
drinking
what
a few
kitchen
beer,
tables are for.
right? Drinking and talking about and solving the world's problems 12 ounces at a time.
And
you know,
the fact is, you know, I say it all the time, the foundation of this show is the foundation of America. It is the Green Dragon. Everywhere I am with this microphone and these beers and my friends is the Green Dragon Tavern.
it is.
For some
That's it.
reason in this country, we have gotten away from the fact that you can talk about religion, you can talk about politics, you can have differing opinions, and it can all happen over a beer.
And you can still be friends after it
When did it
happens.
become the fact that whenever you're having a beer, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics? If that was the case, we wouldn't have fucking America. We would still be a province of England.
The third thing is sports. You can't talk about sports either.
Well, I understand that.
It's
It's
religion,
mostly a waste of time.
politics, or sports.
Because sports is religion and politics combined into the same with
Exactly.
testosterone. Screw that.
It is in this one.
You think you're going to have an issue with religion or politics?
you know,
bring
Bring sports.
fucking
Come
Elway
on.
into the shit and let's see what happens.
Fuck. I just want
Fuck
to.
LA.
I just want to tell you. I just want to say thank you.
Avoid the
You know,
cans.
most of the world knows you as Christopher, and I know you. You know, I know you as Christopher, but I also know you as Waldo.
That's it.
And you're.
Where's
Your-
Waldo?
Your enthusiasm.
Waldo?
He's in Mercer right now.
He's in
Your enthusiasm and your quest for knowledge and your quest to educate people is incredibly admirable. And brother, I love you, and I want to say thank you for letting us have
Love all the way around the
Yeah,
table,
I-
gentlemen.
Say thank
The
you.
Davis
know what?
boys everywhere.
Take it a little bit further.
Go ahead, Pops.
At any time you want to have a conversation for Dudes and Beer,
Yeah?
all you got to do is call us and
All right.
we'll conference.
Hey,
And you got
we could have a Skype session, boys. I figured that technology out.
We can do that anytime you want.
pipe it on in.
That's
Pipe
just
it on
and you're
in.
not, you're just right up the road. You need to hop down to Austin for a weekend, something like that.
You need to
on
come to
down.
Dallas.
Well, I
once in
need
a
to come to
while.
Dallas. I've been on the people I work for. Like, hey, I know you got gigs in Dallas, dude. I've been talking to
me
people.
up there.
I know people
yeah, I
in
need some
Dallas,
work.
and those are the people that I know that are working for you in Texas right now. I need to be on some gigs up in Dallas, so call me. So, most definitely, I will make my way up to Dallas. We all need to get together more frequently for this kind of stuff.
yeah.
Have y'all in as guests via Skype,
Hey,
Well, thank you for the
via phone
opportunity.
conversation.
thanks for coming to help
Hey.
with the show tomorrow.
Hey,
and
that's what it's about. That's what
day
America's
after.
about. It's
Right.
helping your neighbor, doing things that help your community, everything else.
Helping-
That's what I'm
helping your
about.
brothers.
So if you can't help your brothers, you better be able, like paraplegic, not be able to move or something like that.
Or have
if you ain't helping the world
reconstructive
around you.
tendon
As
surgery
Derek
on your
once,
elbow.
once so eloquently said,
These nuts, Gorman.
These nuts.
once you lick the lollipop of mediocrity, you suck forever.
On that note, boys and girls, that wraps it for this edition of Dudes and Beer. Guys, if you can't be good at
Be
it.
good at it.
One last prost, everybody. Cheers. L'chaim. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be at you next week.
You've been listening to the Dudes and Beer podcast. Visit us online at www.dudesandbeer.com. Find our audio streams on soundcloud.com and spreaker.com/dudesandbeer. Follow us on Facebook /Dudes and Beer. Thanks for listening, everybody. And until next time, drink responsibly.